Hello, everyone. This is Logan, and I am joined today with the local Canuck Orc War Chief reviews.
Hello, hello, my green skins.
That's racist. We don't call them greenskins. We call them pigmentally challenged.
No, that's albinos.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, speaking of, yeah, I don't know how to transition into that. Batman
Batman
Returns.
Return.
Yeah. So we just got done watching that movie. As is often the case, I have not seen the movie before this. Orc has seen it probably several dozen times.
I
Uh,
watch it. I watch it. I have what I call my Halloween. I have my Christmas movies. So I watch Die Hard, this movie because this is a Christmas movie, and uh, Gremlins and Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, Garbage Day, and those are the movies I watch those
is
every.
that the one with Garbage Day? I still need to watch the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. I hear they're really good.
Honestly, here's my suggestion: watch two and don't watch anything else. That's pretty much
Even the
that's all
first
you have
one,
to
the
do.
first one isn't good.
You don't need to watch the first movie. The first basically, here's what happened with that. They decided that for some stupid reason, whoever was working on the marketing for that movie thought it was a great idea to put that on the violent murder movie on the same time as the Super Bowl. So a whole bunch of people got to see this Santa Claus murdering people,
Hell yeah. And I'm
and it
proud to be an
it sort
American.
of it sort of screwed the creators over, so they couldn't actually release the movie at the time. So this caused a huge shitstorm.
Yeah.
And so they basically released what they did was to counteract what had just happened to their film, because the film got nuked. They basically added they did a recap, and
I
the
just
recap
now
is
realized
basically
that I wrote Batman Return, not Batman Returns.
yeah.
Good.
So what happened was, because of the complete recap, they completely recapped the original movie, so you don't have to watch the first movie.
Okay.
Yeah, the first movie's in the second movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
only now just realized that I made a typo and I typed Batman Return, not Batman Returns, in the marquee thing.
Oh, that's fine. I don't think anyone's gonna care.
Yeah, well, I changed it. Anyway, Batman Returns, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Considered one of the most darkest Batman movies of all time. I don't think it is. I actually think it's one of the. I think the darkest Batman movie will always be Mask of the Phantasm. That's actually, I still think, one of the darkest. I think it's also one
They
of the best
always seem
Batman
to
movies.
be kind of like outdoing themselves with like dark though. Like Joker, I would say is like one of the darker ones because again, it's realistic.
Joker's not a Batman movie though. Joker's what
Joker
happens
is in the
when.
Batman universe though.
No, it's not even in the Batman universe.
I mean,
It's not
Joker,
canon.
the character, is in the Batman universe.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's there. That's the Joker.
I guess.
None of it's canon. None of that is legitimately canon. What had happened was, with the Joker, you have a creator that goes, "Hey, I got this movie I want to do, and it's about this guy that's gone nuts, and all this shit happens."
I want to do a
And people,
Scorsese movie, but I don't want Martin Scorsese to have anything to do with it. So can I just make it kind of tangentially related to Batman?
yeah, he made it based off Batman just to get the thing. Like it's
Yeah.
literally a director going mad with power
Yeah.
and deciding to do something.
Yeah.
Batman Returns is the same thing. It's
Yeah.
a creator gone mad with power. The problem is Tim Burton is such a good director. This
Yeah.
this movie was interesting because this was a hated movie among fans, but I mean, hated movie not among fans, but among like normies. But like the fans love it. It's considered a legacy movie, and one of the most favorited movies of all time.
Yeah.
What's your thought?
I really liked it. I mean, I am I am of two minds when it comes to Tim Burton movies. For the longest time, I have been a Tim Burton hater. I always thought, like, if you go into, like, if you were talking about movies like Corpse Bride or The Nightmare Before Christmas or his rendition of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which I have warmed up to slightly as I've gotten older, or Alice in Wonderland or stuff like that, his style always seemed extremely try hard. Like it's like his style, like I can just see like the 14-year-old girl writing these movies and slitting their wrist. Like
You see, to me, Tim Burton, like, okay, for me, Tim Burton's movies have always been the same 6 or 7 movies. I really don't like anything else he did after the fact. Like, my favorite movie for me, for Tim Burton, would be something along the lines of the movie Beetlejuice, the Batman movies, and I think like one or two others, and that's it. The thing about him is he's good at making he wants to make Uncanny Valley. That's kind of how he kind of does his
yeah.
work.
Well, he wants to do spooby shit. And I mean, he succeeds in that. It's just sometimes he kind of goes a bit overboard.
Yep.
And I'm not even necessarily gonna say he doesn't do that here or in.
Oh, he goes full fucking bore here.
He does, but I think that it kind of works in the universe, in the sort of dystopian universe that Batman is sort of set in. Especially, I mean, like, well, okay, like at the time, Batman was not. I mean, I guess there was some comic lore that was pretty dark, but like, what the normies knew Batman as was, you know, Adam West being kind of just goofy, you know, with the one-liners and the sitcom jokes and the Batusi and shit like that. So, like, if you weren't paying attention to what Batman actually was, and you saw, like, 1989 Tim Burton Batman, that was going to be a shock to the system for you. If you were expecting, like, Adam West Batman. And then
But
Batman Returns gave you even more of that.
Yeah, it gave you more. It's way darker.
Yeah. Nowadays, there's been so many Batman movies that are in this mold. I mean, you know, like Batman for the most part in general is just kind of in this mold.
Well,
like
think of
the Dark Knight trilogy, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Think of the pseudo. Think of the pseudo Dark Knight trilogy. Think of all the comics that came out after the fact. Dark Knight Rises. The funny thing is, Batman, in a nutshell, has been fighting to reclaim his original like character and who he originally was like.
Yeah.
And it's just been that eternal fight to bring Batman back to being OG Batman.
Yeah.
That murdered people and shot people in the face with his bat gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
and it's in that eternal fight. Like,
yeah. Like
I love some of the violence, like, and the thing is, they try to hide the fact. Like, a good example of this is the movie is the Arkham Knight games. Those are hysterical.
Yes.
And,
they are
and
good
how
games,
you'll
though. They are good fun beat 'em ups.
Oh, they're great games, but they're fucking hysterical because it's like, I'm gonna shoot you in the face with a gun from a fucking cannon.
Yeah.
So, status unconscious. No, you're not unconscious after getting hit by a fucking 40 cal. Even if it's rubberized, it's a fucking 40 cal.
Yeah, but I mean, like, and obviously they did go way too overboard with this movie because in the following movie, Batman Forever, they had to like pivot hardcore in the opposite direction and make it completely stupid.
Yeah. Batman Forever is a example of corporism.
Yeah,
Like including 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 the music in it, because remember Batman had music in it, but it wasn't like over the top
Yeah.
insane and when you get into Batman, and then Batman Returns, they really took out the music altogether. It's just basically
Mm-hmm.
Danny Elfman being Danny Elfman.
Oh hell
But
yeah! That is the most Danny Elfman that Danny Elfman has ever Danny Elfman. And
yeah,
Danny
exactly.
Elfman is another one I have like real hit or miss feelings on. Like Oingo
Yeah.
Boingo is one of my favorite bands of all time. His soundtrack stuff I can kind of take or leave. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he feels like he's trying to be the poor man's John Williams.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
he's all over the place. He's all over the place on the radar. And that's what makes him the as for the
yeah.
character design, the
Oh,
character
really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That is like one of the strong suits of this series, in my opinion, is the character design.
Yeah. Danny DeVito is being Danny DeVito. Like it's
Yeah.
hard not to see Danny DeVito and stuff, because Danny DeVito is Danny DeVito regardless of what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those unfortunate actors where you can't get him to not be
Yeah,
Danny
like I
DeVito.
kept making the comment that like it sucks that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has come out because now I can only see Danny DeVito as like the old guy, fucking
Oh, no,
what's
it's
her
got
name's dad.
yeah. I get what you're saying. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing with a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, Danny DeVito is notorious for that. And it unfortunately has that problem with a lot of his work, too. Um, it's interesting. Like I said, he's an interesting beast, Danny DeVito. And
He's a
I
great
hate to.
actor. Do not get me wrong. That's not me like criticizing him. I'm just
No,
saying
he's a good actor. He's a wit guy. He's a guy. He has
he
that
is.
wit to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's Danny DeVito in a nutshell.
Yeah.
He's a guy that has that weird sarcasm and that weird
Yeah.
wit. So
If you
yeah,
want a guy to be like a witty asshole, Danny DeVito's your baby.
yeah. Yeah, and then you have, I think it's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer is amazing in this movie.
Mm-hmm. For
She is
sure.
one of the yeah she's probably one of the main reasons to watch this, because of the you get to see the trauma of a woman in a nutshell, and it's one of this brutal traumatic acting, and she does such a good job, and just someone losing their mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what happens to Michelle Pfeiffer. She just kind of went nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I definitely. I don't know if I can like really think of like a favorite part of the movie. I think it all just kind of works and works pretty well.
Yep.
Um, Definitely, like I would say, like my overall thoughts are, if you like Batman 1989, that's like that. This is like Batman 1989 if Tim Burton was allowed to go full Tim Burton, because that's entirely what we have here.
Yeah, that's exactly
That
right, and
was
that's
Tim
exactly
Burton. That was Tim Burton being fully allowed and willing to reach his final form.
yeah. And unfortunately, it pissed people off, and it made, because a lot of people, this was a hated movie. Like I remember this
Yeah.
was Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs down, or
Fucking
I think
Siskel and
it was
Ebert, like honestly, if you go back in time and look at Siskel and Ebert, they were on the wrong side of history more times than they were the right side of history, I would argue.
50-50. I would say sometimes they are, sometimes they're not, but that's also
Like
basically
they,
me
I
being
mean, like that's us looking at it in hindsight. But you go to like a lot of, you can like look at like a lot
oh
of like well loved movies that we
yeah,
look
the
at in
Wizard.
hindsight, and
The
it's
Wizard
just like
was an
Siskel and
example.
Ebert were shitting on them. Like the
Yeah.
Halloween, like the Halloween movies, they were infamous for shitting on those.
Yeah, well, good example is the movie The Wizard.
Yeah,
Siskel and Ebert called it, if I remember correctly, a cash grab commercial,
yeah.
and it
And I mean, to
isn't
be
a
fair,
cash
that's
grab.
entirely what it was. So he wasn't wrong about that.
No, it. I disagree. We'd have to
It
get
was
into the weeds. It
entirely a
wouldn't be
cash
that-
grab commercial. That doesn't mean it was bad, but he's not wrong about that.
I don't think it's a cash grab.
Apparently, like that movie did get him. It's kind of funny too because he was like playing video games around that time, so he actually kind of knew his shit when talking about that. Like, apparently he was like super obsessed with the TMNT NES game around that time. That he had to basically pry himself away from that to write reviews.
Yeah, I would say this: Siskel and Ebert. It's interesting double-edged sword with them when it comes to these movies.
I mean,
But like,
they're great. They're great. They are great. I'm not like taking that away from them. It's just like in hindsight, they were kind of wrong about a lot of shit.
Yeah, I could say you could say that. There's quite a few movies that they hated on at the time that are now considered cult classics.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know
my
about
thing
cult classics. I think they were wrong back then, but like
yeah,
they just kind of had like very, and it's because like they had like they kind of came at. This happens a lot with critics, and that's why it's kind of hard to like take critical acclaim into perspective because like once you become like so into the system, once you watch enough movies, you just become desensitized to what the public opinion actually is like, and you start developing, whether you realize it or not, or whether you like it or not, just sort of like the holier than thou sort of. And that's why and that's what creates like that stereotypical like snobby critic stereotype that Siskel and Ebert did no part in dissuading and in fact probably perpetuated.
Yeah, I could see it. We'll see how it goes on that one. But that's my thought process with them is like, yeah, no, this movie was hated in some ways and was panned.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, what?
I think fans liked it. I think the critics were just the ones being harsh on it. Is my understanding.
Well, people had a weird thought process. Like this movie's now considered a cult classic.
Yeah.
It's one of those big cult classics. But back then, it's this crazy over the top that a lot of people don't like now. But if you look at like modern day movies,
like clearly that style won out because now that's entirely what Batman is.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's what it is, and that's what he's become every time. Like even the brand new Batman with unfortunately Robert Pattinson, that entire movie is a goddamn fucking. It's kind of an amalgamation of both, and it's too dark and not dark enough in a lot of ways. It's kind of one of those situations.
And then like there's also like obviously like the kind of cognitive dissonance which happened with a lot of movies around this time of just like here's this really dark like rated R bloodbath movie that's like super dark and serious. Oh, and also here's like and Orc and I were talking about this during the stream like all of the video games and the toys for young children and shit like that. Yeah. Same thing that happened with like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and RoboCop and just like.
Well, Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street did not have a huge toy line. RoboCop did.
RoboCop did, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Chucky didn't. Chucky had there was no real super horror movie like. The only movie that got horror movie acclaim and got toys and stuff would be Aliens. If you're talking about
Aliens too, well, Alien 3 especially, like no matter what you think about the movie, no matter what you think about the movie, it's sold. Yeah. It's sold in terms of merchandising.
Yeah, Kenner, I believe, worked on Aliens, like when the Aliens. Cause I remember that commercial; those constantly popping up. And then you had this. Also, Kenner worked on the toys for this. Like, god damn it, there's Penguin Commandos in this game. In this
yeah, like, Orc was talking about that. Orc was talking about like the McDonald's like collectible glasses that he used to have. Obviously, I mentioned like all of the Batman Returns video games. Huh?
That's Batman Forever, not Batman Returns.
Oh, Batman Forever. Oh, well, but still, like all of the and this. Doubled over this like extended over to all of the other like Batman movies at the time. Like Batman 1989 had a decent, but not as big like merchandising push. Batman Returns is really kind of where it started. Batman
Oh yeah, it
Forever had
blew
a
up.
massive advertising push. Batman and Robin had a massive advertising push.
I think Batman and Robin's where it got kind of stupid because that's where you
Mm.
had the multi costumes. Like you had the like Batman had like 2, 3 costume changes, but then he has like 50 costume change. Like I think there was like 10 different Batman toys. So
Were
from
there costumes with the bat nipples? That's all that I need to know.
yeah, yeah.
Good.
Originally, there was the Batman toy. There was the Batman T toy line, which was like your Batman Returns only had like 10 different Batman figures.
Yeah.
Then you have the next one, and the next one was this stupid like the line just went through the roof. There's like 4 different Batman costumes for that. Like they did some stupid. Like Batman is a insane marketing tool, and that fucker
Stupid
blew up.
man, those stupid girls with their Barbie dolls. Now here's my fully customizable Batman. This is a real man's toy.
Yeah, real man's toy with multiple with no. You
With
see,
multiple fashion
Barbie,
accessories, we
Barbie
can bedazzle Batman. Like
it's first of all, Barbie didn't have things that you could launch at your sister. That's what it
maybe
needed.
she
It
should
needed
have. Maybe that's where they went wrong.
yeah. Barbie needed to have stuff you could launch at
Yeah.
like that.
Barbie needs to be locked and loaded. You know what? Barbie needs to start packing. She needs to become an American, a true American.
Yeah, true American.
Yeah,
Like
true American Barbie. Get on that, Mattel.
where's our redneck Barbie?
Finally.
Finally,
Yeah, redneck Barbie
double barrel shotgun.
with like the prepper kit and just
Yeah, double barrel shotgun.
yeah.
So, what do you want to rate Batman Returns? What's your thoughts on it?
I would rate it. Well, I would like I'd say my favorite Batman movie, if we aren't counting the Joker, which I guess we aren't. My favorite Batman movie is probably Tim Burton's Batman. I could theoretically seeing this overtaking that, but just from this one watch, I don't know if I would have it. That said, though, fantastic movie. I would say like 8 out of 10.
Okay, for me, it's about. I would say it's not as good as the OG one. I think the OG one I gave like a high rating, so I'm probably going to give it probably around an 8,
Yeah.
maybe even not. Let's say a 7.9 would be my thought.
Yeah, like an 8, and I would give like Tim Burton's 1989 Batman. I would give that like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a 10 for me because I saw it in theaters. I actually that's actually what got me buying magazines and comics was some of the stuff like the Ninja Turtles and all this shit when I was a kid because that's actually where I started picking that stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started my fix.
Yeah, it's the method to Orc's madness.
Yeah. Unfortunately, now plastic toys cost you $50 when they used to be $12. I used to spend hundreds of dollars on those
like this
toys.
stupid shit you got free in a McDonald's Happy Meal with some burger and fries. Now that's like $200 on eBay.
Oh yeah, I want that. I want that Batman Forever mug set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all want things. Anyway.
Yeah, we all want. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining me, Orc, and thank you to everyone else for watching this review.
Have yourself a good day, guys. See ya.
Yep. Goodbye.
Goodbye.